All Microsoft Office applications have a common interface of navigation called the ribbon. The ribbon is a section at the top of the window that contains various commands to help the user complete a specific task. Each tab is like a page of buttons with various commands grouped by functionalities. To better understand how a ribbon works, open up any of the Office applications on your system. Here are some key things to know about the Microsoft ribbon. Not all commands are active at all times. For instance, the cut and the copy are inactive at this time because you have not selected any text. But if you go ahead and type a text and then select this text, then they become active. You can then copy. When these commands on the ribbon are inactive, they appear to be grayed out or dim. As compared to the paste and format painter, they appear more vibrant than the cut and copy. Some of these groups have dialog box launcher. The dialog box launcher, when clicked, will open up a dialog box or a task pane relating to that particular group. For example, if you click on the font dialog box launcher, it will bring up the font dialog box that has more commands relating to the font group. Clicking on the clipboard dialog box launcher will open up a task pane with more commands pertaining to the clipboard. Buttons like bold, italicized, underline are considered toggle buttons. They can either be on or off. So if you highlight the word world and you click on the letter B, you have activated the bold button. However, if you select the text again and you click on the letter B, then you have deactivated this button. Likewise, the italicized, the underline, superscripts, subscripts, all these buttons are toggle buttons. We also have drop down buttons. If you look close, you will observe that some of these commands on the ribbon have a small drop down by the side. Clicking on this drop down will give you more options related to that particular command. However, clicking on the icon itself will activate the default settings for that command. Take for instance, selecting the word hello and clicking on the letter A button, that's the command button, will instantly make that text to become red. However, selecting the word world and then clicking on the small arrow that points down next to the button will give you more options to pick from any of the colors that are available on your theme colors. Also, some of the buttons on the ribbon are group buttons. It therefore means that you can only pick one at a time. Example of such buttons are the paragraph button. We'll have left, we'll have right, we'll have center, and we'll have the justify alignment. So if you activate the left alignment, which is by default activated, then the text will be at the left hand side of the page. If you click on the center alignment, then the text will be at the center of the page. If you click on the right alignment, then the text will be at the right hand side of the page. Now, what I want you to note is that these three buttons cannot be active at the same time. If you switch to left, then the other buttons becomes deactivated. If you click on center, then the other buttons become deactivated. You can only pick one button at a time. So these are grouped buttons. The ribbon can also be collapsed down. If you don't like your ribbon taking up half the space of your application from the top, then you can collapse the ribbon to only show the tabs. To collapse a ribbon, you click on this arrow button that says collapse the ribbon, or you press Ctrl plus F1 on your keyboard. By clicking on this button, I have collapsed the ribbons to show only the tabs of the ribbon. So if you want to reveal your ribbon again, you can click on any of these tabs to reveal the commands for that ribbon. But note that if you take your mouse away from the ribbon, then the ribbon will hide again. If you want to pin the ribbon back to where it was to avoid it from hiding, then you have to double click on any of these tabs to pin the ribbon back. This way the ribbon will no longer auto hide on its own. So another thing to consider is your application's width. If you restore down your application to a smaller size, then you can only see the collapsed version of each of these groups, like the paragraph, the styles, and the editing. However, if the application takes up the entire space of the window or becomes wider to accommodate the button, then the buttons begin to reveal itself.